Do you know what the apex of sales success is? Do you know where it is? Let me tell you the two most important metrics that we have in any sales process. The two most important metrics are credibility and viability. Credibility and viability. What does that mean? Well, in every sales process, there's two parties involved. There's the prospect and the buyer, which means there's two perspectives. The first perspective is how the sales professional is viewing the prospect. The second perspective is how the prospect is viewing the sales professional. Now, the sales professional is viewing the prospects in a term called viability. How viable is this buyer? The higher the viability, the greater the probability of a sale. And so if you think about viability is on a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 being they're not very viable, which means they haven't taken a ton of action to show that they're really interested or ready to move forward. 10 is the greatest level of viability. They got a realtor, they jumped through hoops, they got a pre-qualification letter, they're salivating, they got their checkbook with them. So 1 to 10 is how we look at viability. And our job is to uncover through exploration how viable they are. Well, the same time we're trying to uncover viability through our exploration, the buyer is looking at us. And they're looking at us through a lens of credibility. And credibility, same scale, 1 to 10. Now, they're looking at us of how credible we are as a builder, how credible we are as a sales professional, how credible we are to meet their dreams, how credible our home is to give them what they want, how credible our pricing is. And so they're looking at us the same time we're looking at them. The apex, sales success, sales magic happens when credibility meets viability. When we're credible in their eyes, they're viable in our eyes, that's when magic happens. And you have to have both. I can be the most credible builder in the world, but if the buyer has a 1 viability, there's no sale happening. And we can have the most viable buyer in the world, but if we're not credible as a builder, if we don't have a product that meets their needs, if we can't deliver on what we say, if I'm a salesperson that doesn't have a process, it doesn't work. Credibility and viability. So how do we get there? Well, first we have to understand the viability scale. What do we do? And today I want to talk specifically about 1. So if walk-in traffic comes in, yes, it's a little bit of viability because they showed interest, they got out of their car and they walked through the threshold of your sales center. Now, they're still a low viable buyer until I do some discovery and some exploration to find out viability. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is specific traffic, and that is OSC traffic, online sales traffic. So on the viability scale for OSC, where are they? Well, let's forget what the buyer says. Let's look at their actions. So in order for you to have an OSC lead come in front of you, a couple things have to happen. 1, OSCs, as magic as they are, they do not walk into people's living rooms and drag them out to your model home. It takes the initiation of the prospect to go online, find us, search us. That's the first step. They've already taken the step. They've gone online to look for us. They then went to our website and filled out some sort of contact me form. They either did a chat, they filled out a web lead, something so that OSC can get their information. They then either called the OSC, the number on the website, or the OSC called them, but there was a conversation that pursued. At the end of that conversation, they set an appointment. After they set that appointment, they showed up for said appointment. So if an OSC traffic comes in to your model home, anywhere to where you are, the viability of that prospect is at a 6 or a 7 at least. We should be salivating over this traffic. Absolutely salivating because their viability is unargued. They are a viable buyer. Our job is to get them from a 6 to a 10 while raising our credibility. This week, what I want you to do is I want you to nail OSC traffic. What do I mean by that? Understand that if you get OSC traffic, it is go time. This buyer is buying. The only question is, are they buying from you? Start to track viability, credibility. Really look at the source of your lead and figure out how viable they are. Then get ready and go perform.